Well, hello folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you, and let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up. Oh, wait a minute. Just once, I wish I could remember to put this hat on before I get this video started. All right, Humbl. We're going to have a little Humbl update. We're going to do a dilution update, and this app on the phone is looking pretty darn good. So let's get into Humbl. All right, last time we covered it, we were talking about the support that it seems to have here around this 20 cent area, and we talked about why, and it's pretty obvious what is all about this area, why it keeps bouncing on this. It has everything to do with the dilution and the raising of funds, and of course we know the warrants that are outstanding, 120, call it 125 million. Of the 250 million shares they're looking to sell to raise money, about half of that are these warrant shares, which we know is either Forwardly or another group, and they're no good under 20 cents. So basically, you know, nobody's going to exercise a warrant for 20 cents and sell it for less. That would be stupid. So that's why that 20 cent is so important, that little mark there, and that's why that support's sitting there, in my opinion. But as you can see, let's see how many have been sold. They're looking to sell 250 million, and that was to raise money. And here they said they may receive up to $39 million in gross proceeds upon the cash exercise of the warrants in that S1 we just looked at. They will use such proceeds if and when received for acquisition of working capital. We do not have any planned acquisitions at this time. So it sounds like I said, they're going to use it for working capital, or they may purchase revenue, which would be purchasing another company like a Tickery or something along those lines. But they don't have any current plans for that. But that's what it could possibly be used for, and that's what they're looking to raise. So they may have sold all 255 million shares. Let's see about that. Okay, outstanding shares, 1.166 billion. Let's see, when they first started this, it seems like they were around 912 million. So they've, by about all of it, 250 some odd million have been sold. Now, that doesn't mean that they've exercised all 255 million of it, because realize, you know, it's a new month and some of those B shares could have popped up. You know, they can sell, the angel investors can sell 5% of those each month for 3 months. And I think it drops to 3% after that. So you might have a few B shares in here as well. Over time. And that's these right here that we've looked at before. These 552,000 B shares. We know Brian Foote and the officers have locked them up, 60% of them, a little over. And we know Brian's not selling any until looks like be 2023 before he does any of that. And he said the officers hadn't sold any. So that's nothing to be concerned about based on what they've said. The 5% allowed for the B shares per month, it would be an issue. And then, of course, we know about the warrant shares. There's two holders of that, one of which is Forwardly. So, like I said, there might be a little bit of these angel investors popping a few shares in there as well. Now, I've been looking at this app. And, of course, most people are going to use their phone for Humbl, especially if they're buying or selling cryptocurrency, or if they're sending it to friends or whatever, or, you know, all that various things they're going to do. We know they've got, well, actually, let me pull up the website. And of course, we know they've got several different ways of making money. We know about Humbl Pay and the marketplace, the NFT gallery, Humbl Tickets, of course, their studios, Humbl Shop. The financials is very interesting, the buying of selling of crypto, and let's pull that up. They've got the ETXs, and of course, for some reason, I'm having a little bit of trouble. I can't pull it up on this, but I can on my phone. But like I say, if people are buying crypto, they're probably going to be doing it on their phone. But as you can see, it really looks good on the phone. Let me just kind of show you. It reminds me of Coinbase a lot. I buy and sell crypto on Coinbase a bunch, and at some point, I'll be doing that on Humbl. I wanted to give them some time to kind of work through all that and to make it easier and have more to choose from. But when you go on there, here's all the list. You have various lists of cryptocurrencies that you can buy. It's not got a couple of my favorites on there, like Cardano I don't see. And I know they're selling blocks on here. I do not see it on the list. but they're saying that you can buy it with credit card, et cetera. I noticed on some of the Discord that they're having a little bit of an issue with that. It's a little bit tricky. And I know when you first tried to buy blocks, you had to buy Ethereum, and then you had to use MetaMask or Uniswap, I can't remember, and then swap it out. And it was kind of a real task, and the gas fees were really high. And I think they're trying to get rid of that to where you can buy blocks actually right on this app and use either credit card or maybe an ACH bank. And here's something that's pretty important. Brian Foote had on his Twitter. It says, authenticity of NFTs will be important for buyers, sellers, marketplace years to come. At Humbl, we are working on verification programs verified by blocks as decentralized registries, blocks registries to help solve this. So that answers a big question that I had. I was wondering, I know they've been using Ethereum for the NFTs, but it looks like they're moving to blocks, which that makes a lot of sense. And also Brian Foote's heavily involved in blocks, as you can imagine. So that answers an important question, and that's going to save people a lot of money because Ethereum's very expensive to use because of the gas fees, and with blocks it'll be a lot less money. So that answers that question that I've had for quite a long time. I think they're working through a few bugs on that, but they'll get it. Like I said, they've come a long way. I mean, this thing looks as good as Coinbase. It really does. They need some more cryptos on here. There's probably 15 or 20, and they got the big ones, Bitcoin, Ethereum, et cetera. I don't see Polkadot or Cardano on here, and I do not see blocks actually listed. I don't know if you have to transfer or what. But anyway, that app is starting to look really good and crisp. There's a lot of money in that. And that's the other thing. I see a lot of progress with this company, with all the various things they're working on. It's going to take time. Understand, when you buy this stock, this is not some value proposition with a PE ratio of 20 or anything like that. Because understand, they don't have any earnings yet, and they've got to get cash flow positive first. That'll be the first step before they ever even get to earnings. So there is no PE ratio, there's no trailing or forward or any of that kind of stuff. So this is not your value stock. If you're looking for that, go to Walmart or AT&T or Coca-Cola or something along those lines. This is more what they call the Amazon of digital assets. Blockchain technology, transferring money from one person to the other without a bunch of gas fees across borders. That's the long-term project using blockchain that Humbl's trying to do. And it's a task. It really is. I see a ton of progress with what they're doing, and I'm pretty impressed with the phone app. I mean, it looks darn near as good as Coinbase, and that's saying something because that's a gigantic company that makes tons of money. So that makes me feel pretty good. But let's look at the chart again, see what's going on. All right, so yeah, that 20 cents seems to be pretty important, and it has to do, again, with all those warrants. And understand, when those warrants get exercised, that's not necessarily a bad thing because Humbl gets 20 cents of whatever they sell it for. So if they sell it for 25 cents, well, Humbl's going to get 80% of that money, and that's going to raise $25 million to go in their balance sheet. And that's going to help their balance sheet a ton. So that's money, and that's money they're going to need as they build up this app, as they continue to make all this progress. They're going to need that money. Whenever you take a look at a company that's not making earnings, you always worry, what would be the worst case scenario? Well, first of all, them having that money in their balance sheet, you don't have to worry about it. Number two, Brian Foote has 2 billion shares? So, if he needed to dilute some and get some cash, it wouldn't be a problem. I don't see that guy letting this company do anything go down the tube. So I'm not worried about that part. And so, when you invest in something like that, you need to kind of look down that path. So again, I would think it'll probably hold here. Now, could it go below this 20 cents? I'm going to say, yeah, of course it could. And I know what you're thinking. Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
That's right. I am serious. It could. I don't know that it will. Like I said, there's not going to be a lot of selling pressure below that. You might have some B shares that'll sell, at 20 cents or a little below, but I wouldn't think a lot of them would. But, there should not be a ton of selling pressure based on that. So, like I said, we might be seeing the bottom here. We'll see. Time will tell. You never know with the OTC market. With the way this market's going, it's really hard to say. I mean, you've got super high inflation. You've got the OTC market's been crashing. You've got even high growth stocks, even those that are making earnings, have been getting hammered. So it's hard to say exactly how that's going to play out. I mean, Facebook dropped 25%, and they only made $30 billion, I think it was, instead of $40 billion. So, go figure. This is a tough market, and a lot of people are thinking they need to do this. Yeah, but don't do that. Nobody needs to be doing that. But it has been tough. It really has. So, hopefully it'll get better. Like I say, with Humbl, it does appear we've got some support here at the 20 cents. And what's going to have to happen, they're just going to have to keep executing. I do see progress. I don't think there's any question about that. But until we start seeing some earnings or some improved revenues, and it's going to be tough with this new version of the Rona popping around like it has in the last quarter and this quarter. It's going to be tough because they're kind of relying on ticketing to get that first big batch of revenues going as they get into the NFTs. And, they're trying to get 7 or 8 different streams of revenue coming into this company, which is why they call it the Amazon of digital assets. So that's what's going on with Humbl today. Like I said, it looks like they've raised a bunch of that money. We may still see a little bit more dilution, though, with the B shares. But, again, I think the app looks really good. The phone app is what everybody's going to be using, I would think. I see a lot of progress with this company, but, we're in a tough environment right now. We'll just have to kind of watch and see. All right, now if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover Humbl. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. And hope you did like the content. We'll see you next time on Mr. Frugal Investor.